We're going to go ahead and begin this morning with crocodile breathing. So make sure we're diaphragm breathing, deep breaths into the nose. Try breathing for 5 seconds, breathing out forcefully through that mouth. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. It's crocodile breathing.
Exercise 1.
Really try to force that air into that diaphragm. Expanding that lower rib cage. Feeling that. Expand into the floor. And breathe all the way out. Breathe it all out.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. Go ahead and go into your push-up position next. We're going to be doing what's called a rocking calf stretch. So rocking calf stretch, take
3,
one foot, you're going to wrap
2,
it over the
1.
other leg.
Exercise
And
2.
we're just going to rock back and forth, getting a nice stretch through the calf. So nice steady rocks. Going to begin. Think about driving the hips up to help achieve a little extra stretch. If you're looking to drive your heel to the ground, to get extra stretch to that calf. You can always stay in that rocked back position as well for a couple seconds as you sit there and enjoy that stretch. You come pulse forward, get back in that push-up position, and then back.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
All right, go ahead and switch your legs. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you're taking that leg, wrap it up and over.
3, 2, 1.
Think about the hips can go
Exercise
up.
3.
Go ahead and begin. As you rock back, get that nice stretch to that calf. You always want to make sure these calf stretches are nice and steady, slow. Don't want to go too fast.
Three, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. Go ahead and rest and stand up. Next up, we have Y squat to sumos. So for a Y squat to sumo, feet a little bit
3,
wider than shoulder width, a
2,
normal squat stance.
1.
Arms up overhead in the Y.
Exercise 4.
Down into your squat. Arms from inside the knees. Press out. Bring the arms up and stand up. Begin if you haven't. I really focus on creating that Y before you come up. So you can start working on those shoulders in that down position, that squat pattern. Feel that thoracic extension being challenged. The bottom of
3,
that squat.
2, 1. Rest.
Good. Go ahead and rest. Next up, we're going to do knee tuck to overhead lunge. So for a knee tuck, you grab one leg, pull it up to your chest,
3,
step forward with
2,
that leg,
1.
go down to your lunge
Exercise
pattern,
5.
arms overhead. Go ahead and begin if you have it. Then you're going to switch, pull the other leg, and lunge with that one. Try to make sure you stop your momentum in your lunge pattern so that you don't track forward past your toe with your knee, your front knee. Instead, you're just getting 90-90 in those legs. Pressing up hard again through the heel of that front leg.
Three, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. Go ahead and rest. Next up, we're going to be doing the reaching single leg RDL. So for this one, we want to reach out in front of you like you're pushing a wall away.
3,
As you push one
2,
leg back,
1.
get a nice stretch through the
Exercise 6.
back of the leg, and then snap those hips forward, squeezing that glute. Go ahead and begin. You're going to keep switching your legs. If you have to place yourself next to a wall or a beam, go ahead and do so just to make sure that you guys are being efficient with those RDLs. Think about reaching out as far as you can, snap that hip, switch and do the other one.
Three, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. Go ahead and rest. Next up, we're going to do what's called a lateral bound. So lateral bound, we're going to be hopping from one foot to the other.
3,
Meaning a little explosive as we go.
1.
Otherwise, you can do a
Exercise
two-step
7.
shuffle, two-step stop, two-step stop. So go ahead and begin if you have it. So lateral bounds, stick it, and then jump to the other foot. A little bit more lateral movement than a skater. So we're trying to actually explode from one to the other leg.
Three, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. Go ahead and rest. Next up, we're going to go back into our push-up position with our hands on the ground. We're going to do some kick throughs or mountain climbers. So
2,
kick through is bringing that
1.
foot all the way through, then out to the
Exercise 8.
side. Otherwise, mountain climbers, just knees under the chest. Go ahead and begin. Think about those kick throughs, getting those legs underneath the body and out as far as you can. Mountain climbers, cardio climbers, let's keep those hips down. Let's keep those backs nice and flat. Hands under your shoulders.
Three, two, one. Your timer is complete.
All right. Go ahead and grab a drink of water. Let's do our water bottle check. Let's do our heart rate monitor check. We're going to be doing some AMRAPs today. So we have 3 different 5-minute AMRAPs. The nice thing is each thing is only 10 reps, so you don't have to worry about different reps for different exercises. Every exercise is 10 reps. So we're going to do 3 exercises for every 5-minute AMRAP. The first 5-minute AMRAP, 3 exercises are band pull-aparts, lunges, and a Spider-Man. So we're going to show you what those patterns look like. And remember, it's 10 reps of everything. We're going to do it on repeat for 5 minutes, as many rounds as we can. So the first exercise being a band pull-apart. If you have bands at home, starting with those palms down, you're going to start with your arm, shoulder width apart. You're going to pull it apart, pulling those shoulder blades back and together until the band gets to the chest. Then come back together under control, pulling it apart again. The goal here is not to use your hips, and then not to make it overly challenging that you can't do the 10 in a row. So if you have to make it a little bit easier, you can always drop one of the bands, go down to a single band, and you guys are doing your band pull-aparts. Okay? Really work those shoulder blades back and together. That's what we're looking to work there in that exercise. If you don't have any bands at home, don't worry about it. We're going to do bent over Ys. So a Y, starting that nice good hip hinge position, then you bring those arms up, leading with those thumbs, about in line with those ears, and then back down. Make sure we're not lifting that torso as you lift your arms up. You want to stay in that bent over position. Okay, that's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is lunges. So for this one, we can do jump lunges. So when we're doing this one, we're going to keep a nice, good torso, nice, good posture. We're going to jump. Every time you jump and switch, it counts as a rep. So when we're doing those jump lunges, make sure you guys are getting up, switching those legs, and make sure we're bending that back knee. If you're going to do reverse lunges instead, then we're going to step back with one leg, count it as 1 rep, switch, then 2. Switch again, and then 3. Notice how we're keeping that good 90-90 position when we're doing those lunges. Okay, so you got 10 reverse lunges. You can always do those as split squats if you're a little more unbalanced during a lunge pattern, but you just wouldn't move your feet. You'll do 10 on one side, and you'll do, or 5 and 5 when you're doing that exercise. Okay, if we're not able to do the lunges today, we're going to go ahead and do single leg glute bridges for our modification. So single leg glute bridges, just on your back, one leg on the ground, planted firmly, shooting the other leg up, 5 again per side when you're doing that glute bridge. Okay, so that's going to be exercise number 2, 10 of those. Then we end with what's called the Spider-Man. So the Spider-Man push-up is our hardest pattern here. And the Spider-Man push-up, it's like just making sure you can do a normal push-up first, but then you bring the knee outside of the body up towards the elbow as you're doing a push-up. And every time you bring that knee up, it counts as a rep. All right, so think 1. And the other side, 2. Okay, if we're not able to do push-ups, we can do what's called Spider-Man with rotation. Okay, it's going to be a little bit slower, but that's fine. In that push-up position, you step forward with the left leg, you rotate with the left arm, step back, step forward with the right leg, rotate with the right arm. Same thing. Every time you step, it counts as a rep. Every time you rotate, then it would counts. Okay, so think about eyes following the hand on that one. Each side does count as a rep, just like the lunges. Okay, we're going to go through that for 5 minutes. The goal here is to get as many rounds as possible. 10 reps of each thing. So go ahead and grab your bands if you have them. Otherwise, get ready to do Ys. We have a 5-minute timer. We're going to do 3 of them today. So start with those arms. Remember, arms are straight. We're going to pull it apart, pull those shoulder blades back and together. That looks good. Good job, Karen. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Let's begin with band pull aparts.
Exercise 1.
So 10 band pull aparts. Then you'll move to 10 lunges. And you'll go right when you're done. You won't wait for any timer. You're just going to move on to the next exercise. After those 10 band pull aparts, you have 10 lunges or glute bridges. So it's 10 total. So that's only 5 per side. Then after your 10 lunges, you have 10 Spider-Man push-ups or 10 Spider-Man with rotation. Remember, every exercise is total. Nice thing about these AMRAPs is if the body's not quite warmed up yet this morning, still feeling a little bit stiff, we can take our time for the first couple rounds. Body starts to get more warmed up, we start to move a little bit quicker. 10 Spider-Man rotations or 10 Spider-Man push-ups. Trying to bring that knee to the outside of the body, up near that elbow. So the knee lifts up as the body's going down during that push-up pattern. After that, go right back into the beginning of round 2, where you start with your band pull-aparts again. Just got done doing push-ups. Think of those band pull-aparts as like correcting that pattern as you start to pull those shoulder blades back and together. You feel like you have good posture again. Then you're going to do 10 lunges again after you do those pull-aparts, or 10 glute bridges. And you go back into your Spider-Mans again, 10. Make sure those lunges are good. Let's stay nice and tall. 90-90. When you're stepping back, make sure you bend that back knee. You don't have to find the floor, but we want to get down there pretty close so we get 90 degrees. You guys are doing great. Spider-Man rotations are looking good. Like we're following those hands up. Remember, it's 10 total of those. 10 total Spider-Mans. If you're doing Spider-Man push-ups, make sure to bring the knees up towards the elbows as you're pushing up. Only one leg is on the ground. Those 3 different exercises on repeat. Yeah, you're halfway there. Already knocking off 2.5 minutes. Remember those band pull parts, we want to start with a little bit of tension as we start that pull part, pulling those shoulder blades back and together, but we don't have too much that I had to stop after 2 or 3. We don't want to feel that in the upper traps either. We want to make sure we're getting that on the back side in those middle traps and rhomboids. After band pull aparts, 10 lunges. After 10 lunges, 10 Spider-Man rotation or 10 Spider-Man push-ups. Good news, 90 seconds. You're just doing good on Spider-Man rotations. When you step forward, try to get that foot flat if you can. And then we're working good thoracic rotation through those Spider-Mans. Then you're back in those 10 band pull parts. We have 30 seconds. Let's try to see what you can get done here in the last little bit of this AMRAP. Focus on those band pull parts being under control. You're the one bringing the bands or your hands back together
3,
as well.
2, 1. Your timer is
Good.
complete.
Go ahead and rest. You can stop for now, but this 5-minute AMRAP is over. We're going to do another 5-minute AMRAP. Same thing. 3 exercises, 10 reps of each. We are going to be doing one of them is going to be step-ups. So if you do have a box, or maybe a bench or a chair that you would like to use for step-ups, now's a good time to grab that as we go over the demos. So for step-ups, we're going to do it on one leg. So we're going to do 10 reps on one leg. Make sure that foot is nice and flat on whatever I choose. I'm going to stand up. If it's taller, I'm going to make sure that I'm not bringing my leg up. So keep the other leg nice and straight. Not worried about lifting the knee. If it is a little bit shorter and you'd like to lift that knee or drive that knee, you're more than welcome. But we're going to do 10 on one, Make sure you're getting up, get that leg nice and straight, and start to squeeze that glute at the top of that step up. You'll do 10. The next round through, you'll do 10 on the other leg. Okay? So you got 10 of those. Then we're going to go down into what's called our groiner. So groiner, oh, sorry. If we don't have anything at home and for step ups, we can always do high knees. So that's like running in place, but getting the knees up. And we're just going to worry about 10 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're going to get through a lot of rounds, that's great. Okay, so we're all fine with that. Otherwise, marching, we're driving one knee up then the other is a good substitute as well. Okay, so that's going to be the first exercise. Second exercise, we're going to go down to our groiners. So that's that push-up position. It's the burpee that we don't stand up from. Okay, so we're going to think about getting that push-up position, then we're jumping in, jumping back. So the farther I jump in, if I jump up on my hands, it's a little bit more challenging. If I do a little bit of a shallow jump, if I stay underneath the body, it's a little bit easier. So it's my choice on the groiner there on how hard I want to make that. I can always turn that into our cardio climber, where I would pump my knees to my chest a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's fine. We're just going to run through those cardio climbers as quick as we can. We're just looking to get a lot of rounds in. Okay, so we can do groiners, either shallow or all the way up, or we can do then the cardio climbers. We're going to end this AMRAP with what's called a Cook hip lift. So a Cook hip lift is a lot like a single leg glute bridge. We're going to grab one knee, try to pull it to our chest, and hold it there. Then with the other leg, that foot flat on the floor, knee bent, we're going to try then from there to extend the hip up, squeezing the glute on the one side by grabbing that leg and squeezing it nice and tight to your body. Makes it so we can't really use our lower back. We're really trying to focus on that glute then of the leg that we're isolating. So we're going to do 10 on that leg. We're going to go back to the step ups, complete a round, and then we'll do 10 on the other leg when we're doing the Cook hip lift. So try your best on Cook hip lift to get that knee as tight as you can to your body. Okay? We're going to do the same thing again, 5 minutes. We're starting with step up, so if you have something to step up on, go ahead and get in position. Otherwise, we're going to do 10 high knees or marches, and we're going to get started here in just a little bit. All right, looks like we're getting ready for step ups. We're good to go. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Second AMRAP has begun. Go. Remember, 10 on that one leg for those of you guys doing step ups. If we're doing high knees, 10 total. Just be quick. And then you're back into your cardio climbers or your groiners for 10 total of those as well. Groiners are going to be a little bit tougher on our knees. Then you get 10. Remember, after 10 step ups, 10 groiners or cardio climbers. Those of you guys that are finishing up cardio climbers or groiners, then you have 10 Cook hip lifts. We're trying to get that knee as close as you can to the chest, extending the other hip up, squeezing the glute. So 10 step ups, 10 groiners or cardio climbers, 10 Cook hip lifts. After you're done with the Cook hip lift, you go back into your step ups or high knees. You got 10 of those. You should find that all the AMRAPs kind of just go a little bit quicker. If you're going to do Cook hip lift, Oliver, grab that knee, pull it in nice and tight to your chest, and then do the glute bridge on the other side. We're trying to help isolate that glute without using that lower back. There you go. Keep that knee nice and tight to your chest. Good job. Then you're back to your 10 step ups. It should be the other leg though. Then you're going to do those cardio climbers or glute bridges and then Cook hip lift on the other leg as well. You want to make sure you're getting all the way up in those step ups. Squeeze that glute. And then groiners or cardio climbers, move fast. We already have only 3 minutes left. The rounds go by pretty quick on this one. If you're choosing cardio climbers, really work on keeping that back in that nice neutral position. Remember, 10 step ups. Then if you forgot, it's 10 groiners or cardio climbers, and then 10 Cook hip lifts. Just gotta remember which leg you did the time before for that quick hip lift. We're always trying to switch it up, just like the step ups. Like to grab whatever leg I step up with. It's a nice reminder. You have 2 minutes left still. We're just knocking out those rounds, many reps as we can. Concentrate on good form here. When you're back to your step ups after that quick hip lift. Remember, it's only 10 on one leg. That second exercise, that cardio movement, that's the one you fly through. If you're doing groiners, you hop in and out as quick as you can. If you're doing cardio climbers, pump those knees. You have 1 minute left. When you're getting ready for those groiners or cardio climbers, really screw those hands into the floor, whatever version you choose. You guys have 30 seconds. Let's try to see if you can get another couple exercises in. None of these take very long.
Three, two, one. Your timer is
Good. Go ahead and rest. Second AMRAP is over. We're going to be doing a third and final AMRAP for today with no finisher afterwards. So we have another 5-minute circuit coming up. Same thing applies. 10 reps of each. If you have a band, we're going to use that for thrusters. We want to use that for RDLs as well. If you have dumbbells you're going to use for thrusters, we want to use those for RDLs. It's going to help with transition. Okay, so our first exercise up is the thruster. So if we're doing a band thruster, we stand in the band, feet shoulder width apart. Then we're going to go into our rack position with our hands up by our shoulders. We're going to get into a full squat position. So we're going to go all the way down to our squat. We're going to stand tall, and we're going to press up overhead. So that's going to be a full rep. So all the way down, all the way up, make sure we're getting that good lockout position at the top. Okay, so we're going to be doing 10 thrusters. Otherwise, if we can't quite squat, we can always do 10 shoulder presses instead. So if we can't squat overhead, we can always do 10 shoulder presses. If we can't go overhead because of our shoulders, we can always do 10 squats. And we can still use the bands or the dumbbells for these. It's just that we wouldn't go overhead if I can't use my shoulders, and if I couldn't squat, I just wouldn't go down. Okay, so we have the full thruster, the shoulder press, or the squat for that exercise. Okay, so that's going to be exercise number 1. Then we're going to go into exercise number 2, which is your RDL. So if you're using that band, now you just double link it, double band it. You're going to stand in it just like you did for that thruster. Then with your hands by your side, we're going to be doing some hip hinges. So we're going to drive in those hips back, get that nice stretch in the back of those legs. Then you're going to drive those hips forward, squeezing those glutes. Okay, if you're having dumbbells instead, you just hold those dumbbells by your side. If you have no weight or bands, you just have to do a body weight. Just have your hands kind of drift down your thighs. You're going to make sure to stay nice and tight to your body though. Okay, we're really working that hip hinge, so keep those knees nice and soft. Let's work that butt back and forth. All right, then we end with 10 jumping jacks. So you're going to try and knock out those jumping jacks as quick as you can. They're like speed jacks. Or you can do step outs as well with one leg and then the other. For this round, these exercises are going to move pretty quick, especially with little to no transition between thruster, RDL, and jumping jacks. Okay, so choose your tools of choice for thrusters and RDLs, and we'll get started. So remember, thruster, if you're doing a thruster, it's all the way down with a full shoulder press. Otherwise, it's either a squat or a shoulder press followed by an RDL. Okay, here we go. Getting started with thrusters in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and begin.
Exercise 1.
Thruster, go, begin. Thruster, squats, or shoulder presses. Then you're going to move on to your RDL pattern from there. Remember, 10 of those, 10 of everything still. After 10 thrusters, 10 RDLs. Make sure on those RDLs, keep that chin tucked, keep that nice neutral spine, drive those hips back, then drive them forward, squeezing the glutes. Get nice and tall after every rep of an RDL. RDL all over, drive the hips back and forth. Then after RDLs, you have 10 jumping jacks. So 10 thrusters, 10 RDLs, 10 jumping jacks. There we go, looking good. Then you go right back into your thrusters again. Keep that nice tall chest during those RDLs as well. Think about Superman chest. That's 1 minute gone. Think about getting back into those thrusters after those jumping jacks. Transitions as quick as you can. This one you're going to be able to average closer to that round a minute. Back into those thrusters. Remember, if you're doing thruster, full squat, all the way down, good depth, a nice tall chest, pressing up overhead. Remember, RDL is second, so we don't want to hit pins on that first one. We'll make sure we're squatting. Make sure if you're using those bands, bands are in the front of your face. We have 3 minutes left. Moving from thrusters to RDLs. From RDLs to jumping jacks. 10 of everything. In this round, we start to feel a little bit tired from all the volume of work we've done. It's okay, we're trying to finish strong here. The last up, I think it's probably the hardest one of the 3. You're halfway done already, though. Keep working hard. Remember, 10 jumping jacks after those RDLs, and then back into your thrusters. Now, if you're not doing thrusters, we're either squatting or shoulder presses, depending on whether or not I can bend at the knees and get down, or if my shoulders, they hurt when I do overhead pressing, I could always just do the squats. 2 minutes. You guys are doing great. But you wish you could count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Get to those reps a little quicker. After 10 thrusters, don't forget those RDLs. Trying to use whatever tool we use for the thruster for those RDLs. When we get to those thrusters, let's make sure that we're getting a good squat pattern. Make sure we have a nice tall chest, eyes up. We have 1 minute left. See if we can get another round in from where you're at. Challenge yourself to get those last few reps in and work all the way to the end. You have 30 seconds. See if you can finish up the exercise you're on and then do another one. Do a different exercise. Final 10 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Your timer is complete.
Good job, everybody. Last